Hello out there, this is Captain Z1P, and I just wanted to do a quick talk about Plex. So, myself personally, I use Plex for my own media. As you can see, I've got on my TV at home, my Plex going, and both the TV and my PlayStation support the Plex app. So do all my handheld devices, and Plex does a really good job at supporting a lot of different products. Um, a lot of people don't think that they can run their own Plex server. It's not that complicated, uh, and you don't need uh, extremely big resources to do so. As a matter of fact, that hard drive space is pretty much what Plex takes up, and that's just your own media. Um, when it comes to that, literally, this little Dell. Oh, I can barely get it in. Optiplex 790. Ooh. Sorry, I don't have a better camera than my tablet. And as you can see, it's got a Core i5 processor in it, which it does. This thing has only been upgraded for its RAM. That's it. The little alt text box on top of it with the i3 processor is just there for so I can do anything on my, like, a computer or web browser and stream it to the TV. It's just a separate unit. It has nothing to do with the Dell. And then for my media, I've got two Western Digitals back there, and they've got a couple of terabytes apiece, but they're mirrored, so that way if one was to ever go out, I still have my media backed up on a secondary device. And yes, I'm aware that you want to make sure to do more than just a secondary device in your homestead. I also started using this iOmega. So that's done a really good job. And right here is the computer. It's an RDP session to that Dell. RDP, remote desktop protocol. So all it is I'm just connected to it, via network connection instead of plugging it into my TV. And that's how I predominantly manage my my Plex server. So you could see, and on here, you can see it's using a good amount of RAM, and it's steady, and the processing power that it's pretty steady. But actually, if you go into processes, most of this is being taken up by Chrome, not Plex. And you know how Chrome is. It is a RAM hog. So I've got my Plex server going here, and that way I can manage it. I don't have to manage it through this RDP session. I can literally use any computer on my internal network to manage my server. And it's not even really a server. Plex itself is it is acting as a server. However, as you can see on the top, it's running on a regular Windows personal box. It's barely even a computer nowadays. This thing is roughly 2011 is when this box came out. So if you think, oh, my computer is too old or da da da, no, do your research. Look out there. look at your box. The main thing you're going to be needing is decent amount of processor speed for transcoding. And even then, if you're streaming to devices inside of your own network, it a lot of times won't have to transcode. When it's streaming to my PS4, my PS4 can run just about all those video file formats natively. So Plex doesn't need a transcode. And when it comes to sorting, as you can see here, they're technically 8 terabyte drives, but you know how it is with loss and what the drive's taking up internally and all that by default. But pretty much I've got my movies segregated out, got my music folder with all my personal music that I've purchased. Audiobooks, same thing. Yes, Plex can do audiobooks. It's just it's getting there. It's not as good as it could be. But for everyday regular listen, for audiobooks, I have very little hiccups. My dad, he streams. He's a truck driver, so he does have some oddities that happen to him. A lot of times I suggest, if you're going to stream from outside of your house, you might want to, if you're paying for the additional Plex Premium, use the download feature. That way you don't have to worry about being out there and transcoding and all the additional hiccups with running on another network or running somewhere else. But besides that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with Plex. So, hey, if you want to get into having your own little media server, instead of doing the standard, I'm going to share out my hard drive and all this and that, or I'm going to share out my own Windows media files, etc. You might want to look at Plex. It makes things simple. In all honesty, you don't even need a Windows box. Plex runs on just about anything nowadays. You can literally buy a NAS, which is what that iOmega device is. Now that one's a bit older, and it's before Plex became popular, or as popular as it is now. So you can go out there, you can buy a NAS with however much storage you want, and a lot of them come with the capability of downloading the Plex Server app and hosting your app through the NAS. So you don't even need to run a Windows box and deal with the hassle of updates and all that. Like, this box right here is going to be, I'm going to have to tear it down, which is going to be a little bit of a pain. But I'm going to have to tear it down soon. It's way past its lifespan. As you guys can see up there, that Windows 7. But that goes to show you that goes to show you how little resources Plex uses predominantly. Now, nobody is streaming right now, and the reason I know that is simply because when I was logged in, it would have shown me up here at the top. So the server itself currently is not doing much. I mean, it's just sitting there for myself or anybody on my list to access. Now you can join on with other people's Plex. So this is a buddy of mine's Plex. He's kindly added me in to be able to watch his own media. I don't watch his that often, mainly because I forget about it. Because you have to go into that sub menu because I don't have his stuff pinned here. And of course, there's a whole bunch of legalities when it comes to Plex and media. Personally, I follow that gray area when it comes to media. With I own. I don't know how many. I own a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, etc. So I tend to, and I've still got I've got about 7 or 8 bins of movies, DVDs, old TV shows, cartoons, whatnot, that I just throw into my drive and back up, and I back it up using different tools and store them over here in my Plex server. That way I don't have to worry about wearing down my media. Where DVD rot and all that, that is a real thing you have to watch out for. So I don't want to risk losing something that I paid for. So Plex is a good way to not only limit my contact with the physical media, so I have to worry less about accidentally scratching a disc, and I get to manage it myself. It's kind of having like your own personal Netflix, or your own personal well, I won't say Disney Plus, but you can back up your Disney movies too, but it's a good way to have your own personal media server. It's also a good way to manage your collections and whatnot. A lot of people have things that they like watching that are older shows, like Emergency. It's not as popular anymore, but I like it. Being a former volunteer firefighter, I enjoy watching it, and I get a little niffed every so often, when they do something a little oddball or whatnot, or not proper. But I think everybody gets that way if they, watching a TV show based around something they did for as long as I did. And as you can see, like I said, audiobooks. I've got a good, not a big amount, but I've got a small amount of audiobooks. I try and sort them into collections so that way I can more easily go through them and listen to them. Plex also has the ability to stream their own little TV shows. Now, I don't know where these TV shows come from. I know that they're online channels that you can access, but Plex makes it easy and puts them all here. And of course, my music, which they're all backed up versions of physical media that I have. So, I mean, Plex makes it easy. Of course, I'm repeating myself there. And if you're wondering, okay, well, where can I start off, with putting things on Plex? Well, you can always look up older movies or older TV shows. There's something called the Internet Archive that's out there. There is, I mean, any and every TV show and movie that have past their, oh, I don't remember what it's called, but basically it's the time frame at which it cannot be legally copied, etc. Basically, it's when a movie or a TV show gets released to public, and you can, there's a lot of resources online where you can go and download copies of those, and you can throw them in your own Plex server as long as you're not, as long as you're not making any type of profit off of hosting that. You can't take subscription fees from somebody and make money off of this legally. At least currently, that's what the laws are saying. So at least here in the U.S. So you can't really do that, but I do share this with some friends. So it's a nice way of easily sharing some your media with a small group of people. At any time they want to borrow something that I have that's a movie or a TV show, I don't have to worry about, okay, well, here you go. Oh, I'm sorry, my cat accidentally, ripped into your collector's edition of Doctor Who, or whatever the case may be, that my physical media stays here at home, or in storage, where depending on if I've gotten to that physical media yet or not to put onto my Plex server, and it's just, like I said, easy. Good amount of things that I like to use. Let's see here. I believe it was called, here it is, MK or Make MKV. Oops. Now, unfortunately, yeah. Well, sorry everybody. I don't have the fundage to have a very nice camera, so this is it's not doing so good with the attempt at yeah, it's just getting blurrier. I'll go ahead and cut this video off here, and throw some comments down. Let me know if you have any questions in regards to this. If I can, I was thinking about doing another video about upgrading my Plex server, adding a graphics card in there. I've got a junk box off to the side there that I might go ahead and part out and put everything from one machine to another, so that way I have some space to add a secondary graphics card instead of using the built-in one. So yeah, let me know what y'all think.